Hi and welcome to Python randomly generated graphic. So if I click on this button, this is what you see, because the number, the y-axis changes and the x-axis changes, and we can always plot all of those numbers out on this graph. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you straight into Python development environment, and we put one of these together. As you can see, the exit works as well. So I'm going to click on yes. There we go. Let's start a new project. File, new. Right there, I'm going to start by importing as follows. Import tkinter, and that would be for all. Then I'm going to also import the following. So this tkinter is going to be for the message box that I intend to use as well. So I'm going to say dot, that'll be message box. Okay, and one other importation I'm going to make will be for the random numbers. So I'm going to come in here, let's import random. There we go. Now the next thing we want to do is let's specify the name of our app. It's called root, and I'm going to set the objects at tkinter, and let's say root dot title, and my title in this case I'm just going to call that random. Oh, let's enter a space here. Random number generator, two-dimension or two-dimensional graph. There, and let's close that. There. Now the next thing I'd like to do is let me specify the color, or first of all let's go for the geometry, and it's going to be geometry, and that is going to be, let's go for 1350, multiply that by, let's say 640 plus 0 plus 0, that's for the coordinates, and close that. Then root dots configure the color, and I'm going to make the color, the BG color equals candidate blue. There we go. Close that. Alright, okay, let's run this up. So I'm going to come and just say root dot main and let it loop. And what I'm going to do, let's correct this. I'm going to save this, and let's just see what's going to happen when we run this. Save it first. Right there, I'm going to call it, let's just say dimension input. Okay, so that's going to be my dimension input, dimen input. Okay, and let's click on save. There we go. Now if I run it, just want to make sure the frame works as expected, so that's fine. So close that. Now the next thing is I'm now going to define the frame that I intend to use. So that's going to be frame as the widget frame, and this widget frame is going to be inside root. And let's say the back color itself is going to be, let's go for candidate blue, or let's go for powdered blue. We can always change it if I want. Alright, that is fine. Then it's a main frame dot grade. There. Now I will now create two more frames. So maybe I should just copy this. Let's create two more frames and change the names around. So this very one, I'm going to call it DataFrame 1, this is going to be DataFrame 1 as well. Inside DataFrame 1, DataFrame 1 is going to be right inside mainframe, and DataFrame 1 is going to be in row 0, column 0 equals 0. Alright, and what else do we need to do? Let's just enter right here. We're gonna enter, let's say BD equals 1, and the width, I'm gonna make that approximately 1000, let's say height equals 600, and I'm going to get it padded to y-axis, or let's say x-axis first. X-axis equals, I'm going to make that 40, and the y-axis I'm going to make that about 30 equals 30. Now let's say we'll leave, and that is going to be, that it equals rigid there. And the color this time around, I'm going to make that candidate blue. Right, that is fine. Let me just copy this. I'm going to copy that and use that for the second framework there. So that's frame number 2. There we go. And this is going to be column 1. And right here I'm going to need a comma here and a comma there. Let's see how it's going to look like. Run it and see. Okay, we have an error somewhere. Alright, let's see that. This is supposed to be 2 and this should be 1. Okay, let's run it again and see. There we go. You can see the 2 frames. Now the next thing we want to do is, I'm going to just enter LBL. I'm going to call it as, okay, let's just call it title, something like that. And this title is going to be a label, and this very label is going to be right inside this very one. Okay, inside our very frame. And let's say the font color, that is going to, font, let's say font, I'm going to call that area. I may have to speed this up because all this typing will take some time, and let's make that 14, comma, and that will be bold there. Close that. And the text content on it, I'm just going to call that text equals data science. Right there. And BG color equals candidate blue as well. Right. And what else do we want? I'm going to say font color itself equals white. Right. Okay, we're almost there now, so let's get this, copy that, and that's will be below here, dot grade. I like that to be right on top, so it's going to be row equals 0, 0, and column equals 0 as well. Close that. Alright, so let's, one more thing, let's just say strictly west equals west. So I'm going to save that and run it. Let's see how that's going to look like. There we go, that's it. Okay, the next widget I'm going to add will be the canvas. Right here, if I run it, you won't be able to see anything because I have not officially specified the X and Y axis that's meant to be inside the canvas. Supposing I then ask the canvas to create as follows. So canvas widget, I'd like you to create as follows. So paste dot create, and what I want you to create is going to be a line. Create a line, and this line is going to be 100 coordinates by 450, let's say by 800 by 450, and let's say the width for that very widget is going to be equals, let's make that 4. Right, if I run this now, let's see what's going to happen. There we go, look at that, the x-axis is created. So let's come right there. I'm just going to copy that and use that. Create for my y-axis. For the y-axis, I'm going to change this just to 50, and I'll change this to 100. So if we run that again, and hopefully that should give us the y-axis. There, you see that, guys. Now the next thing we want to do is we need to now specify our grading. I'm going to use for loop for I in range 11, so it's going to be 11 numbers in total, and I'll just speed that up anyway. There we go, guys. That will be the grading for the x-axis. So if I run this now, this is what you guys will see. There we go, you see that. So in total, if you count it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Now let's do another one for the y-axis. I'm just going to copy this and change things around as well. That of the y-axis is going to be 10. Let's make that 10. And okay, and here are the lines of codes for the grading for the y-axis. As you can see, I have 50 interval among each of these grading. So this is the y-axis, and you can see that's the x-axis there. So the maximum is 450, and the maximum here is 450 as well. So if I run it, this is what you guys will see there. Okay, maximum here is 500. Sorry. All right, so the next thing we want to do now, so I'm going to now declare a variable, not one. I'm going to declare some variables right underneath here. Let's say I'm going to call it ax1, okay, equals integer. Right, and I'm going to have up to 8 of those because I want 8 scattered graph. So that's 4, another one, copy there. So just change the numbers around. That will be 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 and 8, and I'll repeat exactly the same thing for the y-axis. So copy that and just change the x to y. So that'll be y here, and that is going to be axis y, axis left. So those are my variables taken care of. Now that that is taken care of, if I run it, they're not actually doing anything, they're just ordinary variables. But right here, I want to use them here. So the first thing I want to do now is I'm going to create 2 labels. So let's copy these labels there, and I'm going to paste that underneath here. Okay, see it's right above the canvas. Okay, this way I have my variables, and the other label, paste another one here. So one is going to be for y-axis and the other one is going to be for left. It's going to be for x-axis. So let's call this title y-axis. Okay, let's say underscore axis. Right, and the text content, I'm going to change that to y-axis. This will be the x-axis. There we go. And let's change the name here to x-axis. X and X, and the frame is going to be frame number 2 there. So if I run it now, you should be able to see this title on frame 2. Let's run that and you guys see what I'm talking about. There we go. That's for x-axis. I just need to change the, because we have 0 0, y-axis is going to be 0, then this one will be column 1. So let's try that out again. Okay, still not doing what I want. One is in row that and the other one here. Right, look, this is the error here, so I need to change this name as well. Let's change that. Okay, let's try it out again. There we go. Okay, X and Y. Now let's add some patterns in between them to give them some breathing space. So in here I'm just going to enter, let's go for X padding, that will be 4, comma, and Y padding is going to be 8, comma. Right, do the same thing for this other one. Copy and paste it right here. Now come right down, run the program, and let's see. There. Alright, the next thing I like to do right underneath here is I'm going to create a text box or text widget or entry widget as it's called. Okay, right here I'm going to enter this text box for both x and y axis, and this is how it's going to look like. Alright, now let's assign variables into them. So here I'm going to say comma text variable equals, that would be for the very first one, that is x axis. So the x axis is going to be this very one, and paste that inside the x axis, and the other one will be for the y axis. This is y axis and x axis there. Okay, let's run it. This is y, this is x, so let's see. Okay, over here we have y up there. Alright, so let's change it around. This will be y. Okay, let's change it this way. Well, we can just swap this. Let me swap this around. Cut that off. Swap. And this will become 0. This will be 1. Okay, that's fine. Now let's run it and see. There should be a 0 in there. There we go. X-axis, y-axis. So all I'm now going to do is I'll just copy it around. Just copy and speed it all up. I need 8 in total. So I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys shortly. Okay guys, we are almost there now. So I'm not going to take that long anymore. Okay. So that is the very first part. So I'm going to just run it so that you guys see how it looks like. There we go, and let's close that. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to now, you see right underneath here, right underneath where I declare my canvas and so on, I'm going to declare a function, and this function I'll just call it iGraphic, and right inside the function I'm going to say x1 equals random dot rand an integer. Okay, and I'm going to make this 20 to 109 there. So I'm going to just copy that. I'm going to need about 8 of those in total to be 16, because there will be some for the y-axis as well. So I have 5 there, so I'm going to copy, paste, and that will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 7, 8. Yeah, that is for my random numbers. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing for y-axis, but in the case of y-axis I'm going to have to change that around. So let's come down here, y-axis. For my y-axis, this is going to be y, and let's just start from 50. You can make it start from whatever you want, 50 to 450. So let's copy that, paste, 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 and copy it all, paste, and change the numbers. There we go. So come right down here. We'll now want to change this to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Agreed, you can always use the for loop, but this is how I'm just going to do mine. You can do it the way you want. So let's indent. Right. Okay, the next thing is, if you guys can still recall this variable that I declared right up here. Okay, you remember? So I'm going to copy that. I will now assign the very first value, which is for the x-axis, there, dot set, and what I'm setting in there is going to be x1, this very one, and paste it right in there. And the next one is going to be for x2, so copy. Alright, get it properly indented, else there will be error. Alright, let's just copy that, paste there, and let's change it around as well. This is going to be 2, and so on, and change this around as well. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I'm going to copy this now. That will be for the y-axis. So scroll right down, and all of these will be changed to y-axis. All the x we have in there will become y. I believe you get the whole idea. There we go. That is it. It's all ready now. Okay, right inside this function, all I now need is a trigger function. If I run the program, I want those randomly generated numbers, I want them displayed. So let's enter a column there. There we go. I want them displayed on the text box. Okay, I want them displayed on the text box, and at the same time I want them plotted on my graph here. So close that, close this. So let's come right down. So right in here now, let's use a for loop. for x comma y, okay, in this array. Okay, the first one is going to be, let's put it in a bracket, x1 comma y1. That's the very first one. Close the bracket, comma, the next one is going to be x2 comma y2, and so on, followed by x3 comma y3. Okay, I will now speed that up. I believe you guys get the whole idea. Let's copy that. So I'm just specifying the x and y axis for each of the coordinate. Right there, guys, that is all taken care of, but nothing is going to happen until I then say x equals 50 plus 7. I said 7 because it's in an array, so it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and this is going to be for x, and the other one is going to be for y. Y equals 450, let's say, minus 4 multiplied by y and divide by 5. Okay, now we want all of these to be plotted on the canvas right here, this very canvas. So I'm going to then save canvas create. I think I would like it to be in an oval shape. Okay, depend on the shape that you want your scattered graph to look like. I want it to be in an oval shape. So underscore oval. Now I'm going to define the size of my oval. X minus 6, y minus 6. Okay, I'm just specifying the width, and I will then also say x plus 6 comma y plus 6. So I've just defined the size of my oval shape, comma, and the thickness. Let me see, I'm just gonna make it 12. Why not? There. And the outline equals black. There, comma. And what about fill? I can fill it to be yellow or just leave it as black. Alright, let's say I'm going to fill it as yellow. If I fill it as yellow, you guys won't be able to see that yellow color. So I'm going to reduce this. Let's make this maybe about, let's make it 2 so that you see the yellow color before I convert it all to black. So that is that done. Now, for me to be able to call these buttons, this function, I need to create a button that will act as my trigger function. So let's come right down here, right down there. I'm going to create the following. Let's say button. That button has no name, but that's alright. Let's say it's going to be inside frame 2, and the text content on this very button is going to be known as graph. Cover here up. What about the font? I'm going to make the font about, let's say 4, or no, 12. Okay, let's copy this. Font equals that 14. Let's say 12 for now. I can always change it. Close that. And what else do I want? I want to specify width. Width equals about 11, comma and border to padding. X-axis, make that 8. Y-axis padding, I'm going to make that 8 as well. And BG color, I'm going to just call that candidate blue right there. Oh, that is ghost. Candidate blue, just feeling lazy instead of typing it out. Come right down, paste there. And the color, the font color is going to be white. And let's just close that up there. The other thing is, I'm going to say command. I want this command to call my iGraph, this very one here. Okay, command. I would like you to call that. Paste. And that is all there is to that. So let's say dot grade. That is going to be in row equals number 9 and column is going to be 0. That is that done. So I'm going to copy that, paste that, and this is going to be for my exit. Where is it? Exit. Yeah, changes to exit. That's the second button, and now paste this inside column 1. Okay, if I run it now, this is what you guys will see. Let's see how it's going to look like. Alright, we have an error. What's the error about? 1, 2. Alright, it's supposed to have there. Okay, let's see again. Let's run it again. There we go. So if I click on this now, you see the randomly generated numbers, and you can now see my scattered. But look at that. Look at the problem I'm having now. On this graph, this is what I have on the scattered graph. It's not supposed to be like that. So what I want is, anytime I click on this, I want this to clear that and give me the latest data that we have in here. Okay, so far we're on the right track, but this is not working here. Look at this. So let's come back in here. Okay, I have also called this, but I need to create one more function, and this very function that I'm going to create, that is going to be for exit. So let's come right down here, take care of the exit first. Exit function, I exit there, and for the I exit, I'm going to declare a variable. I'll call it q exit equals tkinter.messagebox, and the message box is .ask yes or no. So in there, I'm just gonna say quit, or let's just say exit system. Exit system. Right, and the name of my, that's the title, and in there I've just said, do you want to exit? Do you want to exit? And that's it, question mark. There we go. And here let's use an if statement to validate the option made. Q exit if it's greater than 0. I want this system root.destroy. You can always enter just destroy alone, but I just want to prompt the end user to confirm if they want to exit or not. Now, see this very one that is exit, I'm now going to change it to I exit. change the command to iExit. So let's run that and see how that's going to look like. There, generate. Okay, that's the scattered graph all over the place. That is wrong. You won't be able to read your graph properly. Exit, no. Exit, yes, that is fine. Alright, the two buttons are taken care of. Now we need to take care of this problem we have in here with the scattered graph. Look at it. Let's take care of that. Exit. So to solve that problem, what I'm going to do is, you see this canvas here, I'm going to copy everything here, from here down here. Okay, I'm going to copy all of this, like I said, and let's go right up here. Okay, maybe somewhere here. Let me declare a new function. I'll just call it iCanvas with a V, and I'm going to paste all of that there. Let's get it indented, right, and this needs to be indented as well, and this. So what's going to happen is it will actually reopen the whole canvas again, but first thing first, I need to delete the canvas. So let's come in here, delete and open. There might be an easy way out, either to clear the canvas. If you guys know that, that'll be fine. So delete all and reopen it. So that's what I've just done in here. Now this very function needs to be called inside function iGraphics. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, but before that, let's run it. You see what's going to happen. Nothing will happen because I haven't officially called this new function. Look at that. I still have my scattered graph everywhere. Okay, so close that and let's scroll right down to where I have iGraphic right here. So I'm going to paste it right there and click on run. I've just called that very function, as you can see. Now click, there we go. That's the first scattered graph. You see that, guys, now it's now working as expected. Okay, so we're almost there now. The tutorial is almost finished. So you see here, I just need to change the back color to candidate blue. So let's look for that. This is supposed to be frame number 2. So let's close that and look for frame number 2. The second frame, yes, it is candidate blue. Okay, let's just change the whole frame to candidate blue, this very one. There. No, to candidate blue, yeah. Run it all. Let's see. There we go. There, guys. So all I need to then do is just move this down a little bit. Okay. So let's close that and do that. So right here, I'm going to change this to, let's change that to 70, and I'm going to change this to 40. Okay, that's the padding, y-axis. So let's run it again and see how it's going to look like. There, guys. Okay, one more thing. We now need to move this up so that we level it with this. So let's close that and just look for the canvas and change it around. So let's look for the width or the height of the canvas here. There. I'm going to change that to 470. Run that now. And there. Okay. It's now how I want it to be. So let's click on our graph. There we go, guys. Look at that. That's beautiful. And that is how you create your own random number generator 2D dimensional graph in Python. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. You all have a nice day now. If you want this code, try to join the channel and be a member, and I will be very happy to forward the code to you. So with that, I'm going to call it bye for now. You all have a nice day now.